Peace, family. I'm going to try to do a brief video on the passing of Jessie Jackson. I kind of knew it was coming because I've seen a lot of people talking about how Jessie Jackson impacted their lives when the first time they met him. And I seen him, he didn't look too well, but it's just sad to see that he's gone. But now they're asking, what is his legacy? What did he leave behind for our people? And as an aspiring civil rights leader, as an aspiring leader of our people, my thought process is this. When I look at the civil rights era, and I compare that to other eras, politics, economics, businesses, industries, whatever, everything advances over time. It evolves. The civil rights era is the only thing that we do back in the 1950s the same way we do in the 21st century. This is absolutely ridiculous. I respect Jessie Jackson. When I first heard him, he was a powerful speaker. I was proud when I first started coming enlightened to who I was. I was proud of Jessie Jackson, his ambition. But over time, I'm just like, when do we move beyond marching and praying, hoping and faith? When do we put some concrete and steel behind our hopes and ambition? When do we evolve from an era of asking for decency and respect to actually building for it? That would be a legacy that a civil rights leader can leave behind. Something that's going to motivate and continue his work after he is gone. Louis Farrakhan did a speech or made a statement about Jessie Jackson. He said that he was proud of Jessie Jackson. Said that he had motivated millions of people. How? Just by running for president of the United States. In 1984, Jessie Jackson inspired millions of black people to be greater than what they were. Not only can you be a decent human and as a civilian, but you can also be president of the United States. That's a powerful message to send. I also remember an episode of Good Times when James was talking about one day a black person may be president, because Michael was a big time he was a big time conscious guy. And he was very powerful, very knowledgeable when it comes to civil rights and speaking up for himself. And James was saying something about one of these days we'll have a black person as a president. And when Florida asked him, when? He looked up and was like, one day. One day. When Barack Obama actually became president, that was a powerful message as well. Not only it showed and inspired black people that you can run for higher office, that you can be more than what other people say you can be. Barack Obama's presidency showed to people that you can actually become president of the United States. It put a time stamp on your hopes and ambition. Because until then, there was no example that black people could have of obtaining such a position. When Barack Obama became president of the United States, and you looked at his age and the year that he was in, it inspired other people to say, well, I'm this age now, Barack Obama is that age. If I do this, if I do that, I could be president by the time I'm the same age as he is. When black people started going to college enrollment for black people started escalating. This was, like I said, this was a powerful message because Barack Obama put an actual time stamp on when a person could likely be president of the United States. But that still is not enough. But Jonathan, you ain't never satisfied. What do you think should be? You know what? As an aspiring civil rights leader, hopefully one day I'll become the next leader of our people, what I want to leave behind is a bridge to where we are to where we can be. Something that's tangible that our people can actually use and to get to where they want to be, and don't have to depend on someone else allowing you to be this way. We need to have our own businesses, our own industries, our own institutions to govern over our own way of life. That is not a huge leap when you compare the technological advances that any other era has went through. The Civil Rights March started in 1965. Tell me, how have they advanced their mission since then? When you compare it to everything else, look at the mail. It was on horseback, people carrying it on their backs. Now you can do it electronically. Look at the labor. People are doing everything by hand. Now I went to machines. Now it's computers. Now we're using basically androids. Look at the civil rights movement. They're still using poster board and Sharpie pens. They was doing that back in 1965. This is absolutely ridiculous. You know, like I said, I can applaud the civil rights movement for their efforts. But we have to use today's technology and tools and resources to advance our cause. We are fighting a losing battle if we keep using sticks and stones compared to the weaponry that our oppressor is using today. We'll never win as long as we seeking permission and allowance from our oppressor. We have to begin a new era of the civil rights movement where we have ownership and control over our way of life. That we own, that we control, we influence our community. We don't have to wait to or seek allowance from somebody else. So that when my demise come, whether it be through natural causes or assassination, my community will have an independent means to continue their way of life. For however long we're on this planet, this should be the new mission for the civil rights movement. So, like I said, I didn't want this video to go this long, but I'm going to end it here. And as always, these are my thoughts and my opinions. I invite you to leave yours in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.